What's up, everybody? Soul here with another Final Fantasy Tactics video, and today we're going to be talking about our boy Ramza and why he is the best at everything that you can do in the game. Just, he is what it is. There can maybe be only one exception, that's just an outright damage, but in the end, Ramza comes out king with enough preparation and build-up. But we all know Orlando goes in raw and does the job outright with no build-up. With that said, let's get right into it. Ramza is our guy here, and with this, I have him on my favorite way to play him, my favorite build, which is magic damage, using Aido, draw out, using that Squire ability, Shia Hidori, magic attack boost, and that movement +3. I do have Excalibur equipped to him because I like that haste, Chantage because I want that re-raise and regen effect, Wizard's Robe because we want as much magic damage as possible, and then that magic attack power that is. Ribbon is going to give us all the immunities we need, and then that Aegis Shield will form more magic attack. But what makes Ramza so good? Why is he the one that's best at everything? Well, it comes down to one thing primarily, and it's shout. This is something you get in the later part of the game. Once you've finally hit that last chapter, you should have access to it, and then from that point on, you're rocking and rolling. Now, of course, when you're looking at these abilities, shout, man, just can't say enough good about it. A hearty battle cry that increases one's bravery, speed, physical, and magic attack power for the duration of the battle. So once you use it, you get a +1 on all of those effects, and it's there to stay until the end of the battle, and it absolutely stacks. As you see, my Ramza has a raw speed of 10, and so when he goes in, he uses that shout, he'll have 11. Now, when you're playing this game, you might notice, like in the Wheatgrass fight, really difficult stuff, his speed is, I believe, 11. So it's not too hard to get right up there with him with the right leveling and, multipliers applied on the right jobs. But shout is the great equalizer. A few rounds of this and you're going to be caught up in speed, and with enough speed you're acting before anyone else. To boot, you're also gaining attack and magic attack damage. That's absolutely insane. Bravery too, of course, which bravery is fantastic for boosting those nice sword damage as well as the samurai swords. And then you're also going to be getting a nice buff on any and all types of attacks that you're using. Draw out uses magic attack, and so it gets a huge boost out of this as well. You're going to be waylaying and destroying everything, but that doesn't just apply to damage. Speed is such an important mechanic in the game that does everything. That shout alone does a lot. So you may be asking, well, Soul, shout is great, but we're talking about literally chapter 4. Okay. Before that, obviously you get focus. I believe in chapter 2 you're going to get access to tailwind. Tailwind is going to boost the speed of a character, not just yours, but anyone around Ramza that you choose to select, and it boosts that speed by 1 for the duration of the battle. This is phenomenal. It's just like shout, with the exception of not doing as much all in one, but you have AoE, you can not AoE, but you have range, you can share it with somebody else. So really nice. And then you're going to get access to steal, which is the same thing basically, but you're raising bravery instead, and so that's really good. This is actually the best way to raise your allies' bravery in battle, and then make sure that they get permanent bravery boosts in the game, because there's no downfall for all of your characters having max bravery, with very few exceptions, one of which being Treasure Hunter. So Steel is fantastic for that. Tailwind is phenomenal for raising that speed. Now, it should be warned, and you should be cautioned. If you raise your speed, there is a downside to that speed being raised, and that is when your characters die, they are still going to be acting with that speed in the turn order. So if Ramza's getting 3 turns in before any of his opponents or allies, understand that when he dies, he is going to also be getting 3 turns in before they get an opportunity to raise him or pick him up, you name it. That can be a big deal. So be cautious of that. Past that, Shout, absolutely phenomenal. Back to the job at hand. Now, as I said, this is my favorite way to play Ramza right here. And if you watched my playthrough, if you haven't, make sure you go check it out. I ran this the whole way through, and I've cleared all the content in the game on Tactician mode using this build primarily. Fantastic support, AoE damage, magical damage at that. He can also do a job of physical damage, and then yeah, he has a heal. He also has a protect and shell. You name it, it's all really good. He even gets AoE haste and regen with that sword you get from our boy Mr. Elmdor. I always want to call him Sephiroth, but yeah, Mr. Elmdor. And so once you have these abilities, this draw, it just goes hard. Absolutely goes hard. But that's not the only way to play Ramza. This is just my favorite way. You have a few other ways to play Ramza. My second favorite way to play Ramza is to go ahead and take him out as a monk, basically, with martial arts as his secondary instead of draw out. And so now you're going to be playing Ramza doing physical damage. This is the way to play Ramza very early on. One way, not the only way, but one way. Draw out is really only beneficial in the middle of the game on into the late game. Up to that point, you're not going to be nearly as effective on Ramza. You trying to utilize draw out. It's tough to get access to it to begin with. You're going to end up on a mage, which there's nothing wrong with that. Black mages are boss. They do a great job. And then you want to unlock that magic attack boost, and yeah. But long story boring, this is the fantastic way to go. Early game, it's simple, it's sweet. Martial arts give you access to all kinds of things: a heal, a raise, AoE, range, elemental attack. It's so good for so many different reasons. And as you can see, I'm running that Thief's Cap, which of course you can interchange and use Ribbon if you prefer it. I just like that bonus speed out the gate. Rubber Suit because it's phenomenal. Why not? I love the amount of HP you get. You get a little bit of MP, and of course, if you want, you can always switch that out and run something different, like that Power Gi, and just get some extra damage. But that Chantage is bad because it's just a broken item. It keeps Ramza alive and in the fight, basically making him, in a way, invulnerable with that re-raise and regen. Now, as you can see, we're running that Shio Hidori still because it's just a broken skill. We got that Brawler and that movement +3. Not the only way to play him. And then once you get further in the game, you're not going to want to run, in my opinion, with that Brawler. Things change from that point on. Once you get to that point where you start getting knightly swords and you get access to Excalibur, Save the Queen, especially later when you get Chaos Blade and things like that, you're going to switch this up. You're going to want to put either dual wield, attack boost, or double hand. But in my opinion, dual wield is the way to go, because then you can run a multitude of those knight swords. Say you want Excalibur, say you want Chaos Blade in there, you name it, put your 2 knight swords on. Now you're doing some insane damage with the status effect boost that you get with those knight swords. Absolutely bonkers. Really good stuff, and should not be overlooked. Another really great way to play Ramza later, or even early in the game, I mean to say, is Archer. So in Final Fantasy Tactics, if you know, you know, archers are a job that just don't really get a lot of love and do a lot of really heavy lifting. Ramza, honestly, is the one character that can do the job very well, in my opinion, and that is because of that wonderful tailwind and or shout. Now, not only are you raising your attack with shout, but you're also raising your speed. Bows require not only physical damage, but also speed for their damage multiplier. That is a big deal. And so Ramza is one of the only characters, really, that pulls it off and does a good job allowing Archer to be powerful and to have a great effect in the game. This is absolutely phenomenal for him. And yeah, this is a really fun way to play. It switches it up and, you know, gives Ramza a different role in the game. Something you don't really see too often. Of course, you want to stick with that metal so that you have a way to run that and get those shouts and so on. But you're going to main job now Archer in order to get access to all those aim skills and or to run that bow and to do a job. Now, that's not the way you have to do it. You could just get your equipped bow and be on your way and do your job. But when you are on this, I do like the Shia Hidori, and I absolutely love Concentrate because we want to make sure those hits land. Absolutely phenomenal. If you're not worried about hits landing and you're not concerned, make sure you throw on something else. Attack boost is always a fantastic option. Nothing wrong with that. Throwing an attack boost on there, getting even more damage. Love it. Movement +3 is what I always like to use and would love and prefer. Teleport comes in, does a job here, though it's a little bit iffy. And then Fly is probably the most consistent to help Ramza get to that high terrain and to do a job. Now back to our magic attack build setup here. As you can see, another really fun way to play Ramza and to do a great thing is to run Speechcraft as your secondary. Now Speechcraft allows you to recruit and of course debuff enemies in so many different ways. Really nice stuff there. As you can see, if you're using that, you got the Entice, you've got all these things that you can run on there and do a great job with. Intimidate and line condemn. Absolutely love being able to doom people. You can insult and make them go berserk, but of course my favorite on this class is that Entice, because you can recruit people, which is absolutely amazing. If you want to have fun with the game, maybe you're looking for another way to play it, go passive play where you're not killing anyone and you're only enticing and or damaging people to entice. And then of course you get that intimidate where you lower their bravery. This can be absolutely monumental, allowing you to turn people into chickens while you're fighting, really helping you to do the things you need to do in the game, whether it's recruit, steal, you name it. It can be absolutely fantastic, or just farm JP. But regardless, this is a phenomenal way to play, and having Orator on Ramza is unbelievable. Not only are you going to be increasing your magic attack power, and you'll also be increasing your speed. Now your magic attack power is really important to raise when you're running Speechcraft, because your Speechcraft abilities are dependent upon magic attack power. And so Ramza with that shout is making it even better every turn. It's a reoccurring theme, I know. I'm going to keep saying it because I want to drive it home. And so Ramza is easily the best character to utilize Speechcraft with for that reason. Not only is he acting quickly, more quickly with that speed and getting more and more every time he shouts, he's also getting more magic attack power, making his Speechcraft more potent, more so than pretty much anyone else can. Nobody can touch it by a mile with enough buildup. So Ramza is the GOAT when it comes to Speechcraft in this game. It's absolutely bonkers. I'm going to keep it really brief here, but I'm going to also throw in that Arithmetic is a fantastic alternative for Ramza. I know many people that love to run their calcs along with the Squire, main class, and it's absolutely bonkers. Maybe you don't want to run Squire main class and you want to switch it up and go actually Mage or calc outright, whatever. It doesn't matter. Have at it and do it your way. As long as you're pairing that shout with the Arithmetics, when you utilize Arithmetics, you can cast any and all learned spells. So if Ramza knows every spell in the game, or he's the one picking up your crystals, learning different spells from the different characters, you name it, he's going to be able to cast all of those with that Arithmetic, all while raising his speed and magic attack power. You get it. You understand the pattern. He is bonkers with this. Of course, it's very overpowered. You wouldn't be surprised to learn that that's the same with white magic, black magic, time magic, summoning, of course, summoning. And the best thing about summoning is Ramza can get in quickly. He can target where he needs to be to get his casts off. And yeah, it's absolutely phenomenal with that extra magic attack he's getting from those shouts. So this is a fantastic way to play. Once again, we're illustrating that Ramza is the best at pretty much everything, just about everything. And so magic is no short order. One thing that a lot of people overlook or don't know about, because they absolutely need it in their gameplay or they utilize it at some point, is that steal ability on Ramza. The reason Ramza is a phenomenal choice for the thief or your thief in general on your army is because he is the one who can not only once again raise his attack power, but that all important speed, getting more turns, and then of course affecting his outright chance to steal. It is absolutely bonkers. When I utilize this, I like to have steal as a secondary. Of course, we're not going to talk about Shiodori and how great it is, but that brawler skill is going to come in and it's going to allow him as a support ability to have a bonus chance to the steals. And yeah, you can't say enough good about it. Now, you're probably not going to run around with ninja gear at this point. You're stealing, you're running through the early game or various points of the game. But, you know, you just want that speed in here. So feel free to put whatever you decide or prefer into this slot and have fun with it. It's really up to you. And then, of course, that Thief's Cap, which that's for later game. You get Lambent Hat like somewhere around the mid game. It's not too bad. And yeah, these things are going to allow you to steal and steal more effectively. The Green Beret, I think, is the one you get the soonest in the game, and that's going to give you your best speed opportunity. But once again, that Tailwind and or Shout is king, making Ramza easily the best character to steal in the game. And you don't need to steal all the time, let's be frank. It's nice sometimes to have that option, but if you know you're going to use an opportunity to steal, throw Ramza on, switch him in, make him a thief, and do the job and steal. You won't regret it. He got so much utility in his Squire ability. Yeah, you just can't say enough good about it, to be honest. Doubling back to the magic attack build, let's take a look at running Ramza as Geomancy. And so Geomancy, absolutely phenomenal stuff. It scales off your magic attack, and Ramza is once again the best candidate for this because not only is it going to be raising your speed, but those Geomancy spells are instant casts. Okay, they don't cost MP, so the more often you can cast it, the better. Not only that, but you're also going to be getting a debuff for those spells. And so the more often you cast it, the more likely you are to proc those debuffs. And yeah, there's just no wrong way of going about this. Geomancy is it's so powerful. I want to say it's the ultimate, but like it's so powerful on Ramza. I actually planned on running Geomancy when I initially picked up the remaster of this, the Ivalice Chronicles. However, I played Tactician mode and Geomancy didn't hit as hard as I wanted early on, and so I strayed away from it. I think I'll go back and revisit that. However, boosting that magic attack, getting those shouts, Geomancy goes crazy. Ramza being able to do it multiple times, back to back, over and over again, applying status effects, hitting for very decent damage. Very nice. And I say very decent because you're boosting that magic attack once again. And so Ramza is the one who gives Geomancy a lot of power with those shouts being stacked up. And so he, once again, has the chance of being the best Geomancer in the game because of his ability to do that. Absolutely busted. Saving arguably one of the more fun builds for last, let's talk about running that jump as his secondary ability. Ramza goes crazy with jump. Once again, shout, attack, speed. Can't say enough good about it. Allowing him to jump more quickly and to boost that damage on his jumps. Now in this, you might want to run your double hand, your attack boost, or dual wield. It's up to you. Maybe you want to run that double hand just to get some extra damage, that one knight sword, and just waylay and have at it. Maybe you want to run that dual wield so that you have multiple choices and multiple buffs off of those knight swords. It's up to you. And then yeah, you're gonna go in, you're gonna do a job, you're gonna absolutely wham bam slam from way far away with those beautiful jumps, and once again with enough shouts, it's gonna be absolutely gorgeous. Jump absolutely benefits from speed, and yeah, He's of course gaining tons of speed and damage with those shouts, that tailwind, you name it. So good. Throwing that ninja gear on that body piece instead of other items. It's up to you if you want to run something else like a power garb. It really is. For me, I'd rather just have more speed out the gate. And so have at it, do a job, jump to your heart's content, and slam your enemies from way far back. Now with this build, Ramza is largely untargetable if he's jumping right and timing it correctly. So you can give up things like the ribbon and whatnot. And then for this build in particular, you'd want to pick up more damage. I love the idea of running that twisted headband on there. And then Chantage just makes you feel safe and protects you. But this might be a perfect time to throw in something else like the bracer so that you can have that bonus damage. It's really up to you, but throw something else on there and have fun with it and gain as much damage as possible with those jumps. You won't regret it. Bracer is a fantastic choice because it of course gives you the highest physical attack that we get out of an accessory. Genji Glove gives you 2, but also that 2 magic attack. It's up to you, but for me, I absolutely would love to have that bracer on him in this build, or that Chantage, just to make you feel safe and to keep you with that re-raise and regen. But that's it, guys. In a nutshell, Ramza is insane when it comes to any and all things that need to be done in the game. He is the one, the GOAT. And it's from that shout, it's from that tailwind. Have at it, utilize him, and feel free to play him in a flexible way. Don't feel forced to play Ramza as a quote-unquote knight, squire, sticking sword and board the whole way through. Ramza is meant to be played in lots of different ways, and he's the one character that can play all the jobs to their best ability, and so he should be utilized as such, in my opinion. With that all said, I hope you've enjoyed it. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button if you've made it this far. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I haven't made any tactics video content, any tactics content in a while. It's because I wrapped up the game, and then my mods kind of acted up. I had a couple errors, so I haven't fussed with it. And I had a couple other things in the dock to take care of, but I absolutely adore this game. Can't get enough of it, and so yeah, this is something I absolutely want to revisit and play through again on a challenge mode, and I'm excited to do that probably pretty here soon. Huge shout out and thank you to my Patreon members, my soldiers. You guys and gals are the ones that keep the content flowing, keep me going, and the lights glowing, so I'm really appreciative of y'all. Until next time, guys, I will catch y'all later. Bye.